So the other day, I flashed the firmware, thinking that that would help my Cardo. And then I remember reading a little while ago that you need to have the little stick that's on the side over here up. And when the stick is up, you get better reception. But I didn't think you need to have that up for a connection from your freaking Cardo on your helmet to that phone in your pocket. But it does help. I did notice. I reflashed my firmware and I put the stick up at the same time, which is a bad test because then you're changing two variables. So you don't know exactly what is working. And then when you do tests, you should always just change one variable at a time so you can test it against the control value. And yeah. So I was saying you should always test against a control value, only one little widget at a time, one little change. So you can go, did that change help? Or did that change not help? And that will lead you to your best testing results. Whether things work or not, at least you'll know, oh, okay, I changed this and it helped. And so I go back to my point where I changed the firmware and I lifted the stick up and I was like, wow, it's working. Much better. It's not cutting in and out. So I was like curious after about 20 minutes into my ride. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna put the stick down and see if the firmware update actually helps. And I put the stick back down, the little antenna that's on the side of the Cardo PackTalk Black. And lo and behold, it starts cutting in and out again. I'm like, oh, really? So the firmware that I reflashed, because I was already up to date, my version was good, but I reflashed that firmware thinking, oh, maybe something's wrong with the firmware, it's dirty. It's got a little bit corrupted or something. But that was not the case, I don't think, because it's actually the little stick antenna. I adjusted the stick antenna up and down once it was up. The connection's very clean, no cutouts. And when the antenna stick is down, it starts to cut in and out again. So there you have it. You gotta have the antenna stick up regardless of how you're using your device, how you're using your Cardo PackTalk Black. If you're talking to people in a group, or you're talking to people on the DMC, the dynamic mesh communication. You're doing a Bluetooth pairing with just one other non-PackTalk buddy. Or if you're just using your phone listening to music, or just trying to make a phone call to your phone, it helps to have the antenna up. If the antenna is down in any situation, it's going to cut in and out. At least that's what I've noticed from my observations. This is very, what's the word? Misleading. All those wind wheels are not running, but it's freaking windy. It's freaking bananas. It's windier than bananas. These windmills are ruining. Okay.